Let's roll. Level 2 has begun. This is SportsRage. I am Morency on the SportsGrid radio and television networks. Cam Stewart in the house. Paul Bovey joining us right now. And Paul Bovey is a New York Knicks season ticket holder. So what are tickets going for tomorrow night, Paul? What's your partner going to get for the tickets against the Golden State Warriors are in town? So the Warriors are 3.5-point favorites in this game.
I don't know, but I better not find out he's using the tickets. He better sell these suckers, okay?
Well, you get mad when you find out he goes to the games.
Yeah, I do. When you can knock it out of the park, I want him to sit back in a bar with a drink in his hand and sell the damn tickets. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. I want to pad my wallet because the last 15 years or
you're trying to catch up.
Anyway. I got a lot of catching up to do, man. I really do.
So, what do you think about this game tomorrow night? Right now, the number's 3.5. The total's 224. Knicks and Warriors.
Well, Brunson better play because that was pretty ugly the other night against New Orleans when he sat out. They really don't have ballers to contend on both ends. Although they are getting productivity from their shooters, Dante and Bojan, but I think they need Jalen in the lineup, and hopefully he will suit up and play. And I think they have a good shot to beat the Warriors. The Warriors are very beatable. They've been playing a lot better of late, but I still think the Knicks are going to be formidable down the stretch, and we need Anunoby. I mean, there's no question about it. We made that trade for a reason. It started out great. Unfortunately, he's been injured. And give credit to R.J. Barrett because his numbers have gone up since he's gone to the Raptors by a factor of 2 points, 2.5 points a game, a couple assists. So he's doing well. It looks like this trade's going to benefit everybody, and I'm going to look for the Knicks to get a victory tomorrow night.
A shout out to everybody joining us on Sirius XM Channel 159 on the SportsGrid radio and television networks. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. You're right. R.J. Barrett's playing well. Quickly, he's playing well. I think this is a deal that'll work out for everybody in the long run. So it's not the best NBA card tomorrow night, guys, if you look at this. I mean, the Bucks are on the road. They're laying 11.5 to the Charlotte Hornets. Total is 218. Utah Jazz get 5 in Orlando. Total 221. We talked about the Warriors being 3.5-point road favorites, but the Knicks lineup is uncertain right now for tomorrow. Total's 224. The Hawks are plus 1.5. Of course, Trae Young is out. DeJounte Murray takes over now. Trae Young is out for the Atlanta Hawks. They take on the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets are struggling. They're 1.5-point favorites. It's a crap game. Total 227. Oklahoma City Thunder, 11-point road favorites against the Spurs. 237.5. Rockets get 8 in Phoenix, total 232.5. Miami Heat are 5.5-point underdogs against the Nuggets, total 217. And we have the Wizards and the Lakers on the board. What do you think about the card, Paul? Far from a glamorous and sexy card.
Yeah, it's not a great card. I do like New Orleans on Friday night when they have that rematch against the Pacers. I think they'll pick it up here and they'll flip the script. They lost by 9 points tonight. They faded late. They fell behind early, cut the deficit several times to 3, and unfortunately could manage only 3 points in the last 2:29 en route to a 9-point loss. But tomorrow night, I mean, this is far-fetched, and this is a hold your nose and press the button play. But I think you should look at Charlotte in the second half against Milwaukee. This is why. Milwaukee, the following night, will play the Bulls. Now, they're 2-1 against the Bulls this year. The last 2 games have gone to overtime. Milwaukee wins the last game. The Bulls won the prior overtime affair. And they have beaten Charlotte this month twice by 38 and 36 points. So you wonder how serious they're going to take the Hornets here. I have to feel they'll sprint out to a lead, maybe coast in the second half, grab Charlotte in the second half, their team total over. I think Milwaukee goes into cruise control, and I think Charlotte's going to cover. Look, these are pro players, and pro players are driven by emotion, and the emotional letdown will be with the Bucks tomorrow night in the second half, just because of the situation. And when I look at the NBA and handicap the NBA, I'm a situational guy. There are spots for teams. Just like I said, if the Lakers happen to win tonight, come back, get a win, I think they'll go soft against Washington tomorrow night with Denver and that rematch coming up on Sunday. So look for these situations that present themselves. I thought the Bulls were in an excellent situation tonight with Cleveland coming off the Dallas game, and they have faltered against Cleveland this year twice by large margins, both times when their three-point shooting was way off, 8 of 35, 9 of 36. So just look for those spots, and I think Charlotte's in a pretty decent position tomorrow night.
Hopefully we get Charlotte like plus 22.5, something like that.
Exactly.
At some point.
Yeah. Wasn't good enough the other night. What did they lose by, like 60? That was brutal.
Paul Bovey with us. So still 2-2 here, and whatever. I didn't bet this game to go to overtime, but of course, all these games go to overtime in the NHL all the time. That's the bet to make at plus 320. But I always lose when games go to overtime. So we'll see what happens here. George Kurtz is going to join us in a couple of minutes, and Captain Chalk, no doubt, is on the Edmonton Oilers right now.
Yeah,
the sports books right now, Paul, are praying that the St. Louis Blues are able to win this hockey game against the Edmonton Oilers. There were two games tonight in the NHL. Both were big favorites, and it was the public parlay of the night. We know how these public parlays work out, Paul.
Not well.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes these things tend to work out for the books for the better somehow, some way. And these public parlays, they tend to blow up. And you got to win a lot of them to make up for one loss. So, we'll see what happens. I really haven't been dialed into hockey. It's not that time yet, but it's coming up. I think I'm going to start getting into my hockey mode because I do enjoy playoff hockey, and we're coming up to that time of year.
Good stuff, Paul. I'm sure it's going to be easy to watch all the games in Mexico with the NHL playoffs starting.
They got TNT.
Right? And the games will be on ESPN as well.
Yeah.
ESPN Deportivos. Thanks, Paul. Always a pleasure.
Have a good one, Paul.
Okay, guys. Take care, guys.
There's Paul Bovey with us. So, yeah, we're seconds away from going to overtime here in Edmonton. Big drama with the St. Louis Blues and the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see if the Oilers can pull this out, or the St. Louis Blues will continue to pad to their profitable seasons they've had for people that have been betting on them. Under a minute left, though. Still, a lot of stuff can happen in the last minute here of the only NHL game of the night. George Kurtz steps up and in next. Let's roll.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's rare in this day and age of the NBA to, miss one player and have the wheels fall off.
They're kind of hanging on to one of those final play-in tournament positions in the Eastern Conference. And there are teams like the Nets and the Bulls and the Raptors who are right in that same vicinity, who now they're looking and saying, well, if the Hawks are without a player like Trae Young, and we talk about how important he is, averaging over 26 points.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Watched the final seconds of Illinois and Penn State, and by Dave's reaction, you think you know what happened there. How about that, Dave? How about that?
We're off the rundown. Sorry. Storm the court. You beat the 12th team in the country. That's fine. Second best in the Big Ten. That's fine. We are Penn State. Look at the crew jumping. This is so much fun.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Well, we should sort of keep a track record of my shootout and overtime record, but I don't do it just because it'd be so depressing. But just, whatever. Like off the top of my head, like, I don't know, what have I lost? Like probably 10, 20 in a row or something on this show.
This is not what I want to hear.
No, you want to hear that I'm on the St. Louis Blues right now, but I'm not on the St. Louis Blues because I tweeted you. And I figured I would copy your parlay tonight with the Rangers and the Oilers, like everybody in the world. And here we are right now, Kurtz. So inevitably, yeah, we're so screwed, buddy. I hate to tell you this. Listen, hope for the best, expect the worst. Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on, McDavid. I even bet on McDavid to score. This guy hasn't scored in like 10 games, man. It's like the longest drought of his career now.
Wasn't it you and I that had the sad show last year on a playoff game with Dallas and somebody that went like 17 overtimes?
And we lost eventually. Remember how we sat here for we sat there forever? It was like, there's the loss. It's over. Yeah. That was painful.
And they were dominating. We were taking the team we want to win was dominating, and they couldn't score. Like, we're going to lose this game. And sure enough, they go down, and then we lose.
You would figure, what's the Oilers' record in shootouts, guys? You would figure if there's a damn team that would be good in the shootout, it would be them.
Yeah.
It's like you have Connor McDavid, you have Leon Draisaitl.
You're right.
You figure you guys would be able to win shootouts with you two. They're 4-2.
Their record in overtime is 4-2, but St. Louis's record in overtime is 5-1.
Okay, no, I'm seeing it right now, but I want to know what the shootout record is. I know this is
specific
shootout record.
5-1
for the Blues in overtime. Oh boy!
Oh, God, that's why they're plus money, Cam. That's why they make all that money for people at overtime.
Yes. George, can you believe that? I was telling Morency, George, we were going through how Gabe does the money watch. So Carver asked me, he goes, who's made the most money? I said, Detroit. He's like, they're second. He goes, got to take another guy. I was saying, Vancouver. They're third. St. Louis. And then Gabe, you talked about him, Morency. Like, they don't price those teams in the Central, like Nashville and the Blues. They're kind of like, the books are like, meh, whatever. Like, the Blues are still a pretty decent hockey team. Like, they get treated like the Arizona Coyotes. They grind. They play tight games. That's what they do.
And here we are in overtime.
Do you want to change overtime? The rules?
Yes.
As far as the amount of time, but to not allow the offensive team to come out of the zone once they enter?
No,
You know what I mean?
my only deal is no. I don't have any problems with that. My deal is just the 3-2-1 thing. I want them to do 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
1,000%. Would love. They should. They won't do it, but they should do it.
You see that women's league? They're so ahead of the time. Like they do all sorts of cool stuff. They're already doing the playoff format where you pick your opponent. They've already crushed the new rules. Like everything the NHL says no to, they say yes to. Gabe, they got a lot of props tonight on the show. Good league.
The PWHL does do the 3-2-1 format, which is cool. So they do the 3-2-1 format. I don't know how you feel, Kurtz, about the PWHL. They let the same player take multiple shots. You can take 2 shots in the shootout.
I don't like that.
Junior hockey used to do it. Yeah, but junior hockey did it, and it was kind of lame. Jonathan Toews for Team Canada when he was like 16, 17. He scored like 5 times in a row, and they won. It was like, wow, did they win or you had one guy? Like they were like, that's not right. Like soccer's like, no. You got to have 5 different guys kick the ball. You can't just have like Messi kick it over and over and over. But the women do it. I believe the women know is twice. You're allowed. Your star player can go twice if they want. They do, and like Cam said, the top 4 teams make the playoffs in their format, and the first place team gets to pick whether they want to play the 3rd or 4th place team.
Amazing. I like that.
That'd be.
I'm not a fan
so
of
much
it.
pressure. So much pressure. It'd be fun to watch, though. You know, and here comes Steve Eisenman. Steve Eisenman, who do you want to play in the first round?
This has been talked about in the NBA and the NHL, actually, to garner interest. So it's like the PWHL didn't just pull this out of a hat. They're kind of like cutting edge with it. It would create like that rivalry because it'd be like, wow, they chose us, right? They want to play us. Let's rock, right? That's why a lot of teams don't want to do it, even though we all know that they all do this anyways. Yes, right? Like at the end of this, we always talk about it, Kurtz, at the end of these seasons, right? Teams are always like, well, we'd be better off not playing this team, so let's just not win this game.
Exactly. They do it without doing it. So what the hell?
Yeah.
What's the point if you just choose?
Everyone publicly can, but every coach says that when they're having a drink together, they're like, God damn, we don't want to have to play. They're going to say, we don't have to play the Panthers in the first round, guys. It's not rocket science. Like,
you think the Leafs want to deal with these with the Panthers and Vancouver?
You think the Bills are sitting around? I really hope we play the Chiefs again this year, guys, like in the playoffs.
Anything
it's
but.
Like, no, we don't want to play them. No.
I agree. I don't want to see Florida or you know what? Actually, Gabe, I will take Tampa this year, though. If you gave me Tampa,
but you like
I'd
you like that.
it.
You like that concept. So the first place team picks who they. I don't like. You know why I don't like it? Because oh my God, St. Louis is. Oh my God, I don't know how they didn't score. Good save.
I don't know if you're ahead of me. I'm ahead of you. I don't know what's going on here. There's nothing going on.
Oh, there's Edmonton.
How
did that not go in?
Oh, dude, Skinner's on fire. Wow, this is great action.
I thought Edmonton was just going to score. I don't know how that puck didn't go in.
I'm 5 seconds behind you. I just saw it. Wow, that was a great chance by both teams there. This is nuts.
105, 104, 103.
Score.
I'm at 48. I'm at 48.
I'm at 55. I'm ahead of you tonight. I'm even ahead of you tonight. Wicked. Excellent. I'm always on cable. I don't mind
this is not streaming. This is cable. This is TNT.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I've been a little slower as of late. I've noticed. Oh, boom!
Is it in?
Won?
And it's Connor McDavid, and I had on the score.
Yeah. Oh, it's in! Yeah! What a goal! It barely went in. Oh, that was gorgeous.
You got to stop that.
Nice, awesome.
Nice, Connor. Nice.
There we go.
He finally breaks the streak of scoring a goal.
Parlay. Never in doubt.
Yeah, never in doubt, Kev. Always had the most faith.
Yeah.
I think we should be crying in segment 1 here.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, too. I do about the overtime. I would change one thing. I don't like the less guys on the ice thing. It's so random. I just watch this. It's like doom. It's like save. Oh my God, oh goal. Like it's random.
Yeah, it is random, but it's also
that's
crazy,
why they do it. So. You're right, but it's just frustrating. Like you're on the right side or the wrong side.
It's not hockey.
No, you played the entire game, and then suddenly it's this random 3-on-3 ping pong. Like,
I would like to. Why not go to 4-on-4 for 5 minutes, then 3-on-3 for 5 minutes? At least you give it a chance again. But listen, anything's better than a tie.
Hey, yeah. I've maintained. I'll go all rules analyst here. I've maintained that 4-on-4 would create more offense actually than 3-on-3. 3-on-3, it's easy to defend 3-on-3. 4-on-4, defensemen could go back and forth and tee it up. There'd be many more one-timer opportunities. The 3-on-3 stuff, it's actually very defensive. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, teams have to get aggressive. The Oilers just got super aggressive here and just decided to go all in, and it worked out. They nearly scored, but they're not going to change anything. You know, Bettman's, they're happy with the way things are. Except I find it interesting that Winnipeg have sold a couple of less tickets this year, and Bettman's concerned. It's like, dude, you've been running this hellhole in Arizona for the last 20 years.
Yeah, great call, Morency. Honestly,
it's like, what, a couple of tickets, and I saw he showed up in Winnipeg. Oh, season ticket sales are down this year, eh, guys? It's like, shut up, bro.
What the hell are you talking about? Winnipeg's a great market, man. Their arena's older, too. Like, get a grip, Gary. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about, man. You don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah, saving Arizona. Pfft. Give me a break.
I tell you what, though, the Jets better win they better win a playoff series, Cam, to settle
Gabe, you know how good the fans are there. Like, it's just,
I know, but every Canadian city except the Leafs and the Canadians, people get tired of it, Cam.
Yeah.
Same old, right? You got to win something.
You're right.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's rare in this day and age of the NBA to, miss one player and have the wheels fall off.
They're kind of hanging on to one of those final play-in tournament positions in the Eastern Conference. And there are teams like the Nets and the Bulls and the Raptors who are right in that same vicinity, who now they're looking and saying, well, if the Hawks are without a player like Trae Young, and we talk about how important he is, averaging over 26 points.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Watch the final seconds of Illinois and Penn State, and by Dave's reaction, you think you know what happened there. How about that, Dave? How about that?
We're off the rundown. Sorry. Storm the court. You beat the 12th team in the country. That's fine. Second best in the Big Ten. That's fine. We are Penn State. Look at the crew jumping. This is so much fun.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two
coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is Sports Rage. I am Morency. The Pits, the players, the hustlers, the people who bust them, and everybody's in between. Let's get an update. So the Edmonton Oilers won. It's a miracle. We won a shootout game. NBA basketball, 66-52 for the Clippers. They're rolling the Lakers. We're at the half. I took the over 234.5. It's 232.5 right now. Alabama's beating Mississippi 103-88. We're on the over 159 of Arizona and Arizona State. The in-game total is only 150.5 right now. It's not on pace. Arizona are winning by 10, 48-38 right now. And the Ducks are up on the Beavers 13-9 early right now. You know what? I just hit refresh on my account, and I must have just won some bets that I didn't even realize some of these games must have just come in for us, which is good because, it was the hockey helped. Oh, in Minnesota, the Minnesota Golden Gophers covered again. Barely, but they did.
Good stuff.
I look, Cam, they were down 12. I was getting 12. They were down 12 with like 5 minutes left, but they were down 7, then 9, then 10, then 12. I was like, oh, we're doomed. I looked away.
Yeah, you're right, Morency. But remember on Sunday, I'll tell you something about Nebraska. That's a tough place to play. And you know that spread was inflated to 7.5, and Nebraska just kicked the Gophers' butt. But nice bounce back ATS by Minnesota. They've been great all year.
Yeah, they're not a great team, Minnesota. They keep covering numbers. It's just one of these weird deals. They lose right around the number. So, George, I've been talking about this NFLPA stuff a little bit. I don't know if you've been getting a laugh out of it like I have, and have you checked out the Dallas Cowboys and other teams? But it's a fascinating look to see what players think about their own organization. And this isn't like made for the media, even though the NFLPA does leak it, right? It's the NFLPA. It's like if you're a player, all right, is there daycare? What's the parking like? What's the travel like? What's the owner like? What's the food like? What's that like? You know what I mean? So it's pretty interesting. And I found it not surprising that Josh McDaniels was voted to be the worst coach in the National Football League. And you notice the coaches that had the 3 worst grades all got fired. McDaniels didn't get through the year. Rivera got fired, and Arthur Smith. What a shock that players had no confidence in Arthur Smith. And now Pittsburgh hired him. What'd you think of the poll, George?
It's fun to look at, right? I always look. I guess am I the pessimist? I always look for the worst ranked team. So you knew Arizona would be there. They always are. They always get trashed. Washington, maybe the new owner there will fix it. Now he's got full control of it. But I always look at the worst run teams, and of course where the Cowboys rank. And they dropped. I think they were the biggest drop this year. Dallas. I think they were top 5 last year. They were 12 this year overall.
Yeah. So the Dallas Cowboys. Interesting, different. You figure the facilities would be big. The Cowboys finished 12th in the overall rankings. There are a few areas where the team shines. The facilities grade highly again. Specifically, the players gave high marks to the locker room, weight room, and to head coach Mike McCarthy. The major issue in Dallas, based on players' responses, centered around the training facility. The players feel like they're very understaffed in this department. It's difficult to get the necessary preparation and treatment to perform at their best. Only 62% of the Cowboys feel they get an adequate amount of one-on-one treatment time, which ranks 30th in the National Football League. That's the type of stuff, George. Like Jerry Jones is so flashy about all the money and stuff, but why? The players, Cam, they rank 30th in the league, bro, as far as one-on-one training's concerned. That's pathetic.
That's really bad.
I might wonder what changed from last year.
And maybe that's why you guys do the same thing over and over, and maybe injuries and stuff too, right? Like, what, you know what I mean? Why are you understaffed?
I just, I wish someone would explain what happened between Dallas from last year to this year. Like I said, last year they were top 5. This year they dropped to 12th because of the category you brought up there. What happened? Did Jerry lay some people off? Why? Well, what's the difference there? It's funny. When they say Mike McCarthy ranked really high, it's because he's a puffball. right? I mean, that was part of the country.
He's hard not to like.
A puffball.
They won a coaching club.
He's like the Marshmallow Man. You're right.
Yeah, he's like the Ghostbusters, the big marshmallow.
He really is. Exactly who he is. That's amazing, George. Well played. Stay puffed.
Here it is, but you're right, George. He graded high. Mike McCarthy got an A ranking from the coach, from the players.
Yeah, they probably like
9th overall in the NFL. 96% of players feel that Mike McCarthy is efficient with their time, which ranked 9th in the NFL. This was pretty impressive. This was a big one to players too. That Mike McCarthy was ranked 4th overall in listening to players' input.
Interesting.
What a shock! Bill Belichick was 31st.
30th. Oh, yes. Bill, he doesn't. Shut up. Yeah, he's not. Why are you talking to me? I don't know who you are.
Zero impact if you're on the Patriots. Yeah. It's like, just shut up, all right? You're going to stand. You're going to just shut. I don't want to hear.
Who are you?
I have an idea. Shut up. That's the idea. Shut up.
I got an idea. Beat it. Yeah.
There's no suggestion box.
Billy Zappi looks like.
No.
He's like, what? Who are you? You are quarterback? Who's number one? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Who's number one?
All right, so I'm looking here now. All right, name a team. Name a team. I'll give you the. You know what's interesting? Let's look at Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions.
Hi.
The Lions have a very positive. The Lions ranked 13 overall. Notable mention of their coach Dan Campbell. So, like I said, guys, this isn't like an article. This is the NFLPA's assessment of each team that the players read. Lions, the players clearly enjoy working for Campbell. Respondents calling out his willingness to listen to their locker room and their ideas. The Lions hired a new training staff in the offseason. The players noted in the responses they could feel the improvement at the workplace and receive significant more individualized care compared to last season. Seems to be a common theme with players, man, about the training staff, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not about what's that, George?
Where was McVay? Rams. I think he's pretty high.
Oh, dude, McVay. I tweeted McVay. McVay got super high ranking, bro.
Man, he seems to be McVay. Pretty high energy, cool guy.
Yeah. You know what's surprised? Harbaugh got not such a great grade from the Ravens. They was surprising.
I could see that, actually.
He doesn't listen at all either. Like they said, he listens to zero input.
They trying to know it?
That surprised me.
That makes sense. Really? I don't know, Gabe. When I watched that game at the end
he's
of the year,
Harbaugh. I guess he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, right?
Mandelbaum. Yeah, it's like, I'm the boss.
He strikes me as the type of guy more that would listen to your idea just like for lip service. Like, okay. And he's just thinking, I'm not really going to do this anyway.
Tell that guy never to come back and give me that idea again. Get him out of here.
Tomlin.
Okay, hold on. You guys are going fast. So here's McVay, just with the Rams. Same thing. It's a lot of the same stuff. Facilities, blah, blah. Rams finished 20th overall. Rams got strong grades for their coaching staff. The players graded Sean McVay very highly, quote, very highly, which covers for their low-graded facilities. So basically, the Rams, it's all cool. They like the stadium. They think the coach is awesome. But the Rams have never built a practice facility since they've been there. And they keep on telling them that they're going to. And they're practicing at, like, temporary places. So that seems to be the big thing. As far as McVay, see ownership. Club owner Stan Kroenke receives a rating of 7.9. Rams players, when considering his willingness to invest in the facilities, 22nd overall. Head coach, McVay, very highly rated. McVay, one of the highest coach ranks in the league, 4th overall. Sean McVay received a 9.63 out of 10 score from his players. 96% of players feel that Sean McVay is efficient with their time.
That's good.
Sean McVay ranked 8th in the National Football League while listening to players' input. My guy McDermott was really ranked high. You said about players love McDermott. Who do you think, George, is the lowest ranked coach? So the three coaches that were the lowest. Yeah, so the 3 lowest coaches this year were all let go. They're all let go. McDaniels was let go. Rivera was replaced. And Arthur Smith was let go and replaced. So who do you think had the lowest grade?
Peyton?
No, you know what surprised me? I would have imagined. I actually was curious, and I read the Denver one right away. I was like, what do the players think about Peyton? The players thought Peyton was smart and like him. The players did not have a problem with Sean Payton. The biggest beef Denver Bronco players had is that their cars keep getting stolen from the players' parking lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you want to hire better security.
No, that's what I said. I said, you guys can't, like.
What's that division? So, Gabe, you were telling me, like, that the division, everybody but the Rams has got crap facilities. You said Seahawks' weakness was facilities, Cardinals' weaks, Rams, not facilities, but good coaching staff. So it seems like the NFC West, other than the Niners, all playing in work out in dumps.
How about Sirianni? He's got a lot of grief this offseason.
All right, hold on. So I want to get to Tomlin here. You guys said Tomlin. Let's see where Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's Tomlin.
I bet he's number
top 5.
7. I'm thinking just outside.
Top 5.
Wow. Steelers ranked 28th in the NFL amongst players. Ooh, gross. Not good.
Yeah, gross.
I could see them being cheap behind the scenes. Probably have to pay for their own Gatorade and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Unsurprisingly, the hardest mark for the club did go to head coach Mike Tomlin. Respondents reported he creates a great workplace culture by respecting them and their time. Beyond Mike Tomlin, in the opinion of the responding players, the Steelers fall short. Wow. They are one of 4 teams who do not provide players' families with either a family room or a daycare on game day. They are one of 7 teams who players feel that they can work out in private in a better environment than their team weight room.
Wow.
The players feel like they lack the necessary staffing in the training room to receive appropriate amount of individualized training care.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's rare in this day and age of the NBA to, miss one player and have the wheels fall off.
They're kind of hanging on to one of those final play-in tournament positions in the Eastern Conference. And there are teams like the Nets and the Bulls and the Raptors who are right in that same vicinity, who now they're looking and saying, well, if the Hawks are without a player like Trae Young, and we talk about how important he is, averaging over 26 points.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Just watched the final seconds of Illinois and Penn State, and by Dave's reaction, you think you know what happened there. How about that, Dave? How about that?
We're off the rundown. Sorry, storm the court. You beat the 12th team in the country. That's fine. Second best in the Big Ten. That's fine. We are Penn State. Look at the crew jumping. This is so much fun.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, if you're a family man like George Kurtz, daycare is very important, Cam, on game day.
For
right?
sure.
Like, so there's only two teams that make you pay if you're a player in the NFL. They have a daycare center. If you bring your family's there, a kid playroom and stuff like that, but they charge you $75 an hour to use it.
What a joke.
The Chargers charge you, and so do the Arizona Cardinals.
Billions of dollars.
That's the thing. Like, just get over it. Like, I just don't understand.
That's
why
the
you
type
could
of stuff,
justify
Cam, that a player, imagine if you're a family man and you found out, you're like, they want me to pay like them, like what? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, I'm not playing for them. Like, it would turn people off. But and I'm not the only one to come up with this, but to the Chargers' defense, Phillip Rivers did have a lot of kids, Cam. Cost him a lot of money.
Is it 75 per head? Like, is it per
they
child?
had to change
Or
the
is it like-
policy. They were like, listen, dude, you got like 10 kids running around here, right? It ain't
Hey,
goddamn
Rivers,
daycare
roll us
center.
a dime on game day, like 75 per kid. What?
You
Give us
just
the money.
imagine the owner. God, I got to hire 2 nannies just for Rivers kids during these games. It's another $2,500 a night. Another
That's amazing.
$2,000. Yeah. It's a lot of kids. Think about Cromartie, George, right? Showing up on game day.
Yeah.
It's like 14 kids.
Yeah.
You got to feed them all, and take care of them, make sure they don't get lost in the stadium.
Sean Kemp's got a lot of kids. They don't know
He's
if
coming
the
to game
Sonics
day
have
now with
kids.
like a Mercedes. He's coming to game day with a school bus.
I can do school bus. Nice, George. Yeah, that's
so guys,
amazing.
so it sounds like real fun to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Treatment of families, F-. Food and cafeteria, B-. Nutrition and diets, D. Locker room, F, ranks 30th in the NFL. Training room, D+, ranks 29th in the NFL. And this is bad. Like, they threw their staff under the bus. Training staff, C, ranks 28th in the NFL. Weight room, C, 24th in the NFL. Strength coaches, B+. All right, they didn't want to throw their specific sort of, Team travel, D, ranks 28th in the NFL. Ownership, F, 31st in the NFL.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Head coach, A, 5th. They love Tom. Sounds like it's hell to play for the Steelers, Cam. Besides, Mike Tomlin's a super cool dude.
Yeah, I
As
don't
you
like
would sort of
this at all.
expect. Like, you know what I mean? They're
Didn't
super
you say
cheap.
New England
Like, there's
had
nothing.
the worst weight room? You said New England
listen.
was pretty the worst. Like, New England are still using like
Dude,
universal.
I don't
classes?
understand this with Robert Kraft. This guy's flying around on private jets with
I
Bon
know.
Jovi and Kanye West and stuff. Like, dude, like,
I'd be pissed. Get
like,
facilities.
what are you doing? Like, the Patriots, are decrepit. Just for the record, as far as coaches, so we never got to the answer, George. Who's the players consider the worst coach in the NFL? Dennis Allen.
Oh yeah, he sucks.
Oh,
That
New
guy
Orleans, man.
He's so
We've been a while
bad.
before I got to him.
You know who's after
Oh,
him? Robert Salah got very low grades.
He did a horrible
He flipped
job
that
with the
in,
Jets.
right? They were
At
they were
PR.
going
Players
bananas. He
don't
was-
have
he wanted
confidence
to
in Robert
State
Salah. Like, the
you
overall
watched
thing
his
is
press
he doesn't
conference,
know what he's
Morency? They should
doing, and
cut
he's a
his mic.
blowhard.
That guy's the worst. He threw everybody under the bus. It's like
I
every
plead the
weekend
fifth. Is
somebody
Zach
new.
Wilson your cornerback? I plead the fifth.
I plead
I
the
can't.
fifth.
I can't say what I really want to say. Remember, every time he spoke, it was like, dude, just stop talking. Like, every time you speak, you make it worse. Like,
you're right. I guess that
They were
guy's
saying at the
brutal.
end of the season that he was so upset about the leaks that he wanted to confiscate everybody's phone on the coaching staff.
Yeah,
to find
that's
out who
gonna go
was
over well.
leaking whatever to the press.
Yeah, good.
So he
oh,
was.
speaking of which,
he was-
that's a good segue
he's
into
real
this,
paranoid.
guys. Actually, hey, guys in Master Control, if you can, get the Kentucky fight. Actually, so speaking of leaks, because there was dude, I don't know how they're doing this. I'm not kidding. I joked about this the other night. I don't know how these teams are having spring football practice right now. It's not spring. Like Michigan, we're under investigation because our practice was too long once, and you guys are all practicing in the middle of February. So, anyways,
isn't it technically the spring semester?
Yeah, I guess, George. They're allowed. There's a window that they're allowed. Not all teams are doing it. Some teams are, right? But not everybody is. But Kentucky is. And there was a fight today in the Kentucky locker room, which, okay, bro, breaking news, shocker, right? There was a fight amongst football players in a locker room. But what's crazy is, in today's day and age, is that a bunch of players busted out their cell phones and filmed it and put it online. Like you were just talking about, like, leaking stuff.
That's what
this stuff's got to stay in the room, bro. Like, the world shouldn't see it. Like, I'm dead serious. I would kick off anybody that took their phone out and filmed this. And not even just put it out on the internet. You put it on the internet, the kid that put this on Twitter, you're off the team. You're off the team. We can't trust you with confidential information. You're off the team. And for the rest of you that put this, like, and filmed it, you're off the team. Like, you can't, like, a team, like, this needs to stay in-house, not for the world to see.
You're right.
And look, it's not much of a fight. It looks like a fight camp.
Oh, my God. Like, you see that guy throw a punch, and, like, that's the worst form I've ever seen.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, Cam, look at, I know, that's the other thing. People are laughing. They're offensive linemen. People are laughing now at your old line and going, oh, that's why you look at it. So look at the punch that the guy threw back. Watch this one. It was bad.
Oh, my God. That was the worst. He's like,
he got slammed on his head.
Like, have you ever thrown a punch before? That is the worst form I've ever seen.
Yeah, but it's not good for team bonding, and now everyone's laughing at their team. And, like, you think the guys on Alabama see this, and they're like, look at these fat kids fighting in the room. They're like, these guys aren't, like, real.
That's true.
I'm just being like, what do you think, Kurtz, about, like, leaks? Come on, this can't be public, Kurtz. Like, this should just stay in the room.
I would be upset that I agree with everything you said, by the way, but I would also be upset that you're filming it but not breaking it up.
Mm-hmm. They were cheering. We can't play the audio because there was too much swearing. They were cheering them on.
But your first thought is to go take your phone out and go.
I know.
I know it's different in society. I would never even think of that. Never even think about grabbing my phone. It's not the first thing that crosses my mind, but in today's youth, that is that comes to their mind. To film whatever it is they see here.
We would go in there and break it up. They're whipping out phones. Like
they broke it up. There's a dude that broke it up after he got his head slammed. Like you see where we'll play it one last time. When he starts to rain down elbows on his head, that's when someone steps up and goes, all right, it's over. It's over. See, all right, here they're going.
Look how bad this punch is. That was so bad. It's just so bad.
And boom. Now they're sort of like, all right, now this is when somebody comes up. They're like, all right, that's cool. But all this should not be like, yeah, I mean, like if I was the coaching staff, I'd be very upset about this. And you know what? It's just, people are, like I said, like people are making fun of their team. It's bad for chemistry. It's just bad for everything. Like, I mean, people are going to get dropped. It's not going to be pretty or whatever, but Twitter are having a fun time with it tonight. I'm sure our viewers just enjoyed me showing it to them.
Mm-hmm.
People are all like, it's funny. The first thing, George, people are responding. They're all like, 4-8 this year. People are like 3-9. People are like, yeah, great old line, 3-9 football team. Like that's what I'm saying. Though it opens up this like everyone's laughing at you now instead of not even talking about you. You know what I mean, Cam?
Yeah.
It's like everyone's like, oh, you guys are going to be a crap team this year. Look at you, like.
You whip out the phone thinking it's cool, and you just made a jackass of yourselves and your program. It's just stupid. Yeah, you said it. I agree with you, Gabe. Everything we have when we play sports, everything stays in-house. That's the way it works. You work out your problems in-house. But
locker room. Remember when Antonio Bryant did that when Tomlin was giving a speech years ago after a game? He filmed it, put it on, I don't know, Twitter or Facebook or Snapchat. Instagram.
And you know what? Antonio Brown basically burnt houses down, threw rocks at people, did 1,000,001 things, George, and that upset Tomlin more than anything, if you remember. That was like the thing that they were like, he was like, you crossed the line. Like, he was like, you showed my speech, you showed the private talk that I was like, he was like, you're done. Like, the dude, like, he stood by him through arrest, and like, you can't videotape the room. You can't trust people. If you do that, no one will ever trust you again. Like, you know what I mean? You break the trust in the room. So here's the New England Patriots, too. We were talking about bad grades. Treatment of families, F-. Weight room, F. So their facilities. So here's, though, Belichick did not get a very kind goodbye here from them as far as the players were concerned. Only 55% of players felt that Bill Belichick was efficient with their time. 31st overall. Bill Belichick ranked 31st overall in the NFL in willingness to listen to the locker room.
Surprised he got that many. Thought it'd be less.
Who's below? The only person that was below him was Josh McDaniels, who came from the Belichick tree.
Who came from Bill?
I didn't even know that guy held his job for so long. He was so brutal in every category. Like, it's
in some ways with Bill, though, he's not a player's coach. He's a great coach. He's not a player's coach. He's always going to do bad in these polls. Even if they won the Super Bowl last year, he would have done bad in these polls. So I can think of that.
But you got to adapt, though, George. Like, even Coughlin.
I agree.
I agree. Like, you could be an old curmudgeon, but you got to find a way to, like, at least get a little bit of respect from these guys. Like, you can't act like dominant all the time. It doesn't work.
This is a common one with teams that I didn't realize. New York Jet players. New York Jet players are upset that some frustration that corporate partners have field passes pregame, but players can't get their significant others and children aren't allowed on the field. Seems to be a lot of teams that have that. Well, I didn't realize that players' families aren't allowed on the field.
Money. Corporate partners are money. They're buying the luxury boxes and doing the signage, right? And the advertisements. It's major money. It's more important than the family.
But it's still
I'm not saying it's right. Right. It's not right. It's wrong, but I understand what they do. Why can't they do both would be my question. Why can't you get the corporate sponsors and the family? Pretty big football field. Shouldn't be a problem.
This is bad if you're Robert Salah, though. Like, it's right at the bottom. He ranks 28th overall as far as practice efficiency. That's not good.
No, it's
so
horrible.
Basically, players think you're wasting their time and that you don't know what you're doing. He ranks 29th in willingness to listen to players' input.
Sounds like he's at the bottom end of a lot of stuff right now. Not a good
Some
year.
staff they have there. Him, Nate Hackett, you got Aaron Rodgers. Like, well,
what a joke.
And you see McCall Hardman guy said that he said the Jets are they're so unorganized and so unstructured. He goes, it's just a lost cause. Like, he ripped the Jets. The Jet players are like ripping Hardman, saying he's a disgruntled employee. He couldn't cut it with us and stuff. So you couldn't cut it with you. You just caught the winning pass in the Super Bowl. It's like the Jets really are delusional. Remember, Cam, all the smack guys all the smack the Jets talked last year when they got Rodgers before even winning anything.
Yeah.
They talk, like Sauce Gardner talks, Garrett Wilson talks. They just talk. And even Robert Salah. We've embarrassed every quarterback we played against.
We'll grant you a trade. How about you just let the kid go?
We're going to grant.
Let him go.
Kid doesn't even want to play for you. He'll be better wherever he goes. I guarantee you, Zach Wilson's going to be good wherever he ends up.
I said it to
I'm not saying he's going to be amazing. He'll be better, Cam, away from those losers.
He'll be better.
I don't know about good. Way better. But the thing is, he's a good athlete. You just got to get away from that situation. He'll figure it out.
Can he be the next Baker Mayfield?
I think so.
Well, look, the same thing. Draft pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's rare in this day and age of the NBA to, miss one player and have the wheels fall off.
They're kind of hanging on to one of those final play-in tournament positions in the Eastern Conference. And there are teams like the Nets and the Bulls and the Raptors who are right in that same vicinity, who now they're looking and saying, well, if the Hawks are without a player like Trae Young, and we talk about how important he is, averaging over 26 points.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Watched the final seconds of Illinois and Penn State, and by Dave's reaction, you think you know what happened there. How about that, Dave? How about that?
We're off the rundown. Sorry. Storm the court. You beat the 12th team in the country. That's fine. Second best in the Big Ten. That's fine. We are Penn State. Look at the crew jumping. This is so much fun.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. We're kicking it here. I want to get a picture up, actually. Good job with the Kentucky fight there, but guys, let's get a picture up of an NHL vet. And this is, it's like when you become president, the before and after, you get gray hair and stuff. This is what 13 years in NHL will do to your life, Cam. This is how it started, and this is how it's going. You know who that is? You tell?
Yeah, Burns.
Brent Burns.
Yeah. Wow, look at
so it's like I tweeted. This is what you look like after 1,390 games. As you showed up as this kid with frosted tips, straight from the bar, ladies' man, to a beaten down dude with a beard.
Would you
no teeth.
That guy in the woods? I'd pray he didn't have weaponry. Like a rifle. Like, look at this guy. You're dead.
If Gabe had just shown the picture on the left, did you know that was Brent Burns?
No, I know. I should have split them up. I know. I should have split them up.
Right. The one on the right's easy, but I would not. That doesn't look like the same guy.
No, if I just want to show exactly, like I did, we should have. Because the thing is, the picture came like this. So I was sort of like, you know what I mean? But like, you're right. I would have been perplexed at first for a while. If you would have shown, right, who is this now?
His face
you'd be like,
different.
I don't know. You'd be like, look, he's no longer. So look, he was dyeing his hair when he was young. Clearly,
he's a kid.
Like he's not. His hair wouldn't change like that. So he was dyeing his hair. Look, he had the flashy hockey haircut as a kid. Now he's got the I've got $30 million. I don't look rich, but I am.
It looks like the West Virginia Mountaineers mascot if you put like the hat on him and give him a gun.
Not someone I'd want to meet in a dark alley. That's for sure.
This is what I'd show to Connor Bedard. I'd say, kid, look at you now. This is what you're going to look like in about 15 years, kid. So get ready. Get married now because it's going to get worse, all right?
It really will.
Yeah. Get the model now.
Do it now. I think he's taken. But, I love that. That's a great picture, though, huh? 1,390 games in the NHL. That's what it'll do to you.